For the last 10 years, I've been a content creator in this community affectionately known as Black YouTube. And I've noticed some things about this particular space. There is a lot of concern about Black women and how they wear their hair. Now, as you know, there's many ways that Black women can do this. They can do it more than I can express. As you know, I'm bald. But stop the show. I still look good, right?
Stop the cap.
Fast forward. Let's continue. I just want to get back to the idea that Black women can express themselves in many different ways with their hair. Most notably, you will find some level of a weave, wigs, or extensions. Now, this is normal for all women, but Black women in particular will use these more. One of the reasons is that, natural Black hair or African hair tends to be a little harder to manage. And then also I've heard Black women say that, because of their natural hair, they didn't get certain opportunities.
Time now is 6:34, fired for her natural hair. That's what one former news anchor says happened to her while working in Jackson, Mississippi. Now, her story has gone viral. Liza Lucas, you're at the bridge and you're following this conversation. What are people saying about this one?
Well, Brittany Noble is finally speaking out after criticism over her natural hair. Now, she says that she switched from her on-air bob at the time, her signature look, to avoid damaging her natural hair. But after she was wearing her new look for about a month, she said that her boss told her to switch it back, that new look was unprofessional.
But one of the things I've noticed over the past decade, a lot of Black male content creators try to attribute a Black woman's hairstyle to a poor attitude or a lack of respect for society. In other words, if you're a Black woman that has a weave, then you're a bad person in general. So if she has a weave, you pretty much need to get up out of there. Now, this was expressed by Tommy Sotomayor a long time ago when he termed the coin hair-hatted hooligan. And now Shannon Sharp, as you know, got into a situation with someone on Twitter that he thought was Meg Thee Stallion, and he says, "Why are you on my page? Don't you have another horse to rob of his hair? Stop trying to kill my vibe." Now, Myron Gaines, who is a hater of Black women and doesn't date Black women, he has responded to this. Here we go, Black women about to cry about using horsehair to look like the very white women they insult. And I wanted to know a really interesting question. Do Black women wear weaves? Is that something that indicates they are a bad person or a disrespectful person? And also, a Black woman with a weave, is she affecting the lives of Black men? In other words, could Black men do just fine without a Black woman with a weave affecting their life? Rewind! I want to get into this whole thing about what Tommy Sotomayor posted the other day. It was a very interesting comment. He was talking about this particular lady who is a politician by the name of Representative Stacey Plaskett. She had some issue with Elon Musk, and I want to play what that issue was.
And Mr. Musk, since you think tweeting or Xing or whatever it is you do on your platform about me is going to scare me to be quiet, you obviously don't know what I'm made of. Generations of individuals who have fought for me to have the ability to say what I want to say, to speak the truth. You forget that this is not pre-1990s apartheid South Africa, the country of your birth. This is America. And there are more of us Americans that love our diversity, our rule of law, than there are of you who would like us all to be sycophants to your ego.
So Tommy Sotomayor responds to this clip, and she had said, also, Elon Musk, don't come for me unless I send for you. This is what she posted on X, his own platform. Tommy Sotomayor says, okay, so now every Black woman in politics gotta get you told, gotta have a head full of weave, gotta be a freedom fighter. Black men, they don't represent us or family, just themselves. So again, this lady who happens to have a weave on, of course, I mean, it's a typical weave, but because she has a weave in her head and she's in politics, this is a lady who's a lawyer, right? She went to Georgetown. Somehow her having a weave taints her or makes her a bad individual. Now, Look at the guys who are accusing black women in being weave-headed and all of that of causing issues. Now, of course, can you find black women fighting or having issues that have weaves or being mean to have weaves? Sure. But weaves are very common in the black community. It's like saying, well, any black woman who eats is problematic. But I want to prove that weave-wearing black women are not really affecting the lives of black men. I mean, of course, if your mom is an alcoholic and she is destroying your life and she happens to have a weave or a wig, that's just a hairstyle. But you could also have a mother that didn't have a hairstyle, and then they could also do the same thing. Because if a hairstyle was making a person do X, Y, and Z, they'd probably outlaw that hairstyle in whatever country, and they just don't. The reality is that these men have problems wherever they go, that have problems with black women that have a weave or not. Let's look at Tommy Sotomayor for an example. Tommy Sotomayor got kicked off YouTube, got banned off of X, demonetized from X, kicked off OnlyFans. Now, I just have a question about this. Did a weave-wearing black woman stop his success? The answer is no. No black woman with a weave or not was out there destroying his life. Let's look at Myron. Jeopardy music! Myron is also demonetized from Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, can't get back on TikTok, and now Twitter. Are black women the reason why his career is terrible right now? Let's play a game of Negro Air, shall we? Is it A, Myron's fault? Is it B, Myron's fault? Is it C, Myron's fault? Or is it D, all of the above? Jeopardy music! The answer is D, all of the above. Myron is at fault for all of these things. But I want to talk about something that Brother Tariq Nasheed talked about on a podcast here. He was asked, how can you approach and be in relationships with black women?
Was able to process it. Being someone in that position, what are things that you would tell a young black man now on how to properly attract a black woman? Maybe like your top 3 things that you think a young man should know.
Well, in order to attract a black woman, or just women in general, but particularly a black woman, number one, you have to trust yourself. Trusting yourself is the essence of confidence.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. A lot of people and a lot of men don't trust themselves. Number 2, you got to have integrity, meaning there's certain things you will and will not do. And the third thing is you have to value manhood, value yourself as a man.
Yeah.
What does it mean to be a man? Being a man doesn't mean being aggressive.
Right.
We've been taught that manhood is about jumping bad at folks, screaming at folks. That's not manhood. That's more emotional and feminine than anything. Manhood is about calmly being logical and solving problems, solving issues, and being in a leadership position when you're in a relationship.
Right.
Women can respect that.
Right.
That's how you get respect from women.
Yeah.
Right now, we have so many dudes who have not been raised by men, and they've not been around real men who's practicing manhood. They're around males,
Yeah.
but they're not around men to see a man get up, own businesses, work for himself, take care of the family. A lot of brothers don't see that now.
Right.
So they think everything is about emotion, and whatever manhood is, it's a caricature of what manhood is. It's what you see on television.
Right.
It's what you see in music videos. You're walking around with a wife beater, a bunch of tattoos, a bandana on, and you're throwing money.
Right.
That's not manhood.
And you see his response is great. I'll give him a round of applause. And as you can see there, it's being a man, it's being a builder. He says something very important. You know, it's not about being confrontational or being aggressive. People think that it's being aggressive or confrontational as being a man, but it's being a problem solver. But let me show an incident that Tommy Sotomayor had almost a decade ago with a black woman in Dallas that he got into a car accident with. And I want to see if you believe that this behavior is emotional.
Here on this exit 67 here in Cedar Hill. She hit me turning over in that lane over there, but she cut in too deep because she didn't see me. She turned into my car, hitting my car. I moved over to the side over there, hit that, and as you can see, when I went onto the curve, there's damage. Here's a chunk out of this tire, and this one is flat. So The guy's telling me, no, you're not gonna talk to me. Hey, let me tell y'all, see, that's the problem with black women right there. They talk. I ain't bothered this woman. I haven't bothered you. I haven't said a word to you. Have I said anything to you? I'm talking to my phone, Bob. Bob. This is why nobody likes these black hoes. Look at them. Black. Get out my face, though, because I'll whip you up. Get out my face. Yeah. I don't like black anyway.
Well, for me, that's emotional, right? And even though she hit his car allegedly, there was a different way to handle that because that outburst that he was doing was not going to solve anything. And see, I want to also talk about this because when I got on the platform on YouTube, it was so much focus on black women and their weaves and how they need to go natural. And it's cool, like I like black women with natural hair, but I'm going to be honest, there is no black woman that has stopped me from growing, that stopped me from whatever I'm doing right now. It's just not true. I have to change myself in life to be responsible for my own issues. And once I was able to do that, I've done some things in my life I'm not proud of. I do some things I feel really bad about. But you know what? That was my fault. I think too many black men focus on what a black woman's hair is like or what they're wearing. And I got a little joke, weaving and sandling up. And yes, they do like weaves and they do like a lot of sandals. And for those that have bad attitudes or you don't really like them, here's what you can always do. You can just ignore them and continue going on strong. And there's plenty of black women around the world that you can find one that you can like and get along with. And those that you don't like, you can just stay away from. But these guys that come for black women and their weave all day, and I get maybe some little jokes here and there which are funny, but to blame women because they have weave and that's the reason why they're problematic, it doesn't even make sense. I mean, if you feel like that's the case, then you might as well say that anybody who eats a burger is a problematic person. A lot of women like weaves. Women of all races like weaves. But a weave wearing black woman is not the demise of anybody for the most part. It's just that person could have been, toxic, but not because they wore a weave, right? Simply, there are nice people, great people, people that are great mothers that got a wig or got a weave. You know what I'm saying? So what are you going to say about that? People have been wearing wigs for years. The reality is that you got a lot of black men out here who don't want to take any accountability for their own actions and their own mistakes and why they're not progressing in life. I'm looking at you, Myron and Tommy Sotomayor. Once you guys realize your mistakes, you would stop getting demonetized. Can I get a ooh sound effect? So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea D. Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.